Welcome to Cosmic Channels. I'm Braden, your host. This is your show, the Cosmic Call-In Show, where you can call in and tell your paranormal, ghost, spooky stories. If you got a story that you want to call tonight, 1-833-703-0424. I'm taking all calls. I want to hear them. Who's got that first call energy? Last week, we just had a spectacular show, start to finish. I mean, the lines were just absolutely popping off nonstop. It really rejuvenated, lifted my spirits while doing the show. So I'd like to thank everyone that called last week for making it just an incredible show. Now, who's going to be that first caller? As we always say, the first caller is the most important caller because I also never know if the lines are working. So I need someone to call 1-833-703-0424. Just a couple big shout outs from the show that have been helping support this while we're waiting for that first call. We have Clayton. Clayton moved to the top supporter of Cosmic Channels. The guy is just donating week in, week out. So thank you, Clayton. Let's get right into the first call. Thank you. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, yeah, this is Austin from northern Michigan.
Right on, Austin. What's going on tonight?
Oh, not too much. I just wanted to call in. I've been listening for quite a while. I have a bit of a story, I suppose.
Let's hear it.
Well, I guess, but first, before I do that, I'd like to address something that everybody seems to have kind of brushed over. No one needs to shining a light on it, I suppose, and I'd like to shine some light on it. There was I think it was 140, I don't know the exact number, but it was the Val Johnson episode. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. A long time ago.
A long time ago. There was a skit you guys did where you're going kind of back and forth. I believe you're Val, and they're kind of saying shit to you over the radio. And at one point, Zell kind of jumps ahead, and he's like, "Hey, man, you burned your eyes somehow." And you're like, "Hey, that's a good guess. I did burn my eyes. That's the all-time save. I just love that. Every time I listen to it, I just die laughing. It's just hilarious."
I don't know what you're talking about because I'm pretty sure we brought in real reenactments. Those are real audio files that we collected. So I don't know what this skit thing. No, they're always fun to do. Always. We've got more lined up coming up, so that's an oldie. Oh, those ones are great, though. I love all the old skits.
Yeah, but no one ever seemed to give you any credit for that save, so I wanted to make sure everybody we saw it and it was cool.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. There's tons of you guys wouldn't even begin to guess how many saves go on behind the scenes when either ATT or this show is not just about not to happen due to errors or something that but hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate being seen.
Right on. But yeah, I don't want to hold it on too much here, so I'll get to the story I have. It's not much of a story. It's kind of a thing. It kind of combines two things, and I'll tell the story, then I'll come back and add some details after, I suppose.
Okay.
So when I was 18 or so, a bunch of my friends and I was just after high school, we had just taken a bunch of different kind of, weed, something like light acid, stuff like that. Not a lot of heavy drugs, but kind of coming down from that. And it was 4 in the morning. And I had just left my room and I went downstairs to the kitchen area to get a snack. And in the kitchen, you can kind of see down this hallway. And it's not a very long hallway. And 3 feet down the hallway, there's an office. And that's what my mom's office was. And it was 4 in the morning, so it's pitch black. But I looked over there and I could see a silhouette of somebody. And I look over it closer, and it's my mom standing there. And she's got this really weird, a grin that's kind of a I gotcha kind of grin, but a weird kind of really sinister looking kind of thing. Really spooky. So I started walking over to it, and it really changed the whole attitude, or not attitude, energy flips. And I'm looking at a gargoyle looking, crazy golem looking figure that's grinning its teeth kind of now. I mean, I'm holy fuck, kind of fall back and I just sprint back up to my room. And then I just kind of ride out the rest of the night, just kind of just, wait till daylight and kind of, hope I make it. And I did, and everything, and life went on. And then never thought much of it, just other than it was kind of like a drug-induced kind of freak out, kind of
Yeah.
maybe. But
But
I
I mean,
listened to
that's
the
pretty.
show, and I heard a lot of these.
That's just
What's that?
just marijuana, like edibles.
No, like weed, and then like some acid.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, all right. Now that's making a little more sense now because I was like, listen, I've dabbled in marijuana. I've never like anything like that, but yeah, mixed with those other kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a possibility.
Right, yeah. So kind of just wrote it off, whatever. Life went on. And then listening to the show, I heard a lot of these stories of like these lingering ghouls that are kind of attached to like a Ouija board kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so my wheels started turning in my head, and I go, well, actually, fuck. Like before all this happened, maybe like 5 years before that happened, my sister, and she's younger than me, a couple of her friends were kind of dicking around with the Ouija board, and it spooked her real bad. And my mom took it away and hid it in her closet in that office. So I don't know if somehow there's like a demon that was attached to that board, and then it was like within reach because I was delving into such a different kind of a mental state that it was kind of more
creepy.
present.
That's,
yeah, really creepy. So I never realized it till like a month ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thought. Like, yeah, because you're definitely like, if you're taking something like acid, you're definitely, on some different wavelengths, and are you able to, see past the veil? And if that thing's just kind of lingering around and has been bothering you, like maybe normally you wouldn't see it, but like just because of your state, you saw it's like it in the flesh kind of thing, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's creepy. Anything else ever happen with that thing?
No, not really. I just, looking back now, I just wonder why it wasn't just thrown away. Like, why did she go, oh, this thing spooked you, but I guess we'll just hang on it for forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of that?
And what exactly did it look like? Go through, like, how tall was it? Closed? Like, what everything you remember?
It was like an identical thing of, like, my mom. Like, it was her. Like, it was, you know what I mean?
And then when it turned, that's when it like showed, like, teeth. Like, what gave it away? What's?
Well, I guess it didn't have any figures or like facial figures at that point. Once it kind of changed, it was sort of just like a dark, like any presence that was just like overwhelming. And I like have never been so scared in my life.
Yeah. So you just felt, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's terrifying.
Yeah, very terrifying. But hey, I made it out, and life went on. But
yeah,
I thought pass it along because it's kind of interesting. Maybe somebody else had a similar undertaking with such a thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's part of this show is making connections, right? People, maybe people have had similar experiences. It's an interesting one. I don't know if I've ever. So my question to you is: do you think it was your actual mom there that you just saw a presence over? Or was that maybe not your mom at all?
No, it was definitely not her.
Not her. Okay, so then whatever it was,
because you would have had to have appeared there because the guy had like walked past that area already, and it was like 4 a.m.
So whatever
and
it was,
her,
that's creepy.
What's that?
It's taking the shape.
Yeah,
of
very
mom,
creepy.
Right? Like, so that's, I mean, that's weird. I'm not
yeah,
sure. I have to dig into I don't have Dan around to instantly tell me all the different ghosts that would do that, but definitely, definitely unsettling. Did you tell your mom?
Oh no, it's better for the. No, I would never tell my mom about it. She wouldn't. She knows about the weed and stuff, but she wouldn't really dig the acid. I don't think so. I'll keep that to myself for a while.
Yeah, no big deal.
Hope he doesn't listen. Maybe I just outed myself.
Yeah, well, hey, listen. There's a lot of Austins in Michigan. You can't be the only one. Plausible deniability.
All right, man. Well, thanks.
Hey, thanks for being the first caller tonight. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good one.
All right, take care of yourself.
All right, see ya.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think if we've seen throughout the history of the Cosmic Channels too many stories of apparitions taking shapes of people, like people interesting. If you got a story like that, 1-833-703-0424. Call and tell the show. Like this person right here, this beauty right here. Let's bring him on. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Braden, it's Anna from Louisiana.
Hey, Anna, how's it going?
Man, it's going really good. How are you doing? Your baby is adorable.
Oh, thank you. Yes, he is quite cute. It's been a while since we've got to hang out when we did the Austin trip, but nice to hear
Yeah,
from you.
dude, that was a blast.
Yeah, it was a really good time. We all almost got murdered.
Yeah, I'm glad I missed that, but we dipped out early because we're old.
Yeah.
But
well,
that was a blast. I was glad y'all came so close.
Yeah, good times.
Anyways, I wanted to run something by you to see if I'm just grasping at straws here, but I think the HARP machine, like the weather control device,
Oh, yeah.
is actually some alien tech that maybe aliens might be involved in, because there's been these convoys of UFOs heading in a V shape, flying V, like towards the Gulf.
Yeah.
Basically, every time we have a strange weather event in Louisiana.
I mean, just even to go into like the HARP facility and stuff, like if we're reverse engineering craft, like if that's what we're led to believe, is that, you know, the governments of this world, you know, each possess their own kind of crafts and stuff. It wouldn't be a stretch for like you to tell me, hey, we've kind of figured out that some of this tech on here can control the weather, and now we're fucking around with it. Like that would it. I mean, why not?
It really seems like it, because like in 2020, like this was barely even report. Like I hardly saw anything about Hurricane Laura, but Hurricane Laura totally destroyed like southwest Louisiana, and they reported it as a Category 4. It was way into Category 5 whenever it hit, and 2 nights, actually the night before the hurricane like formed and came onto land, me and my husband saw like huge like the biggest convoy of UFOs that I've ever seen, like real high. We saw a couple of planes and satellites go under them, and like the next day the sky just looked like shiny chemtrails all over the sky, and like Hurricane Laura hit that evening.
That's it's interesting that it's the precursor of the flights going in, because I would have to research to see, like, you know, I don't know, but it is weird that you're seeing these and then it's like within, you know, I wonder if other people have noticed that or picked up on that.
Well, and that's why I wanted to call in to see if you heard any other stories like that, like before extreme weather events, you know, like seeing a convoy of UFOs and then the sky looking all weird.
Okay, so just for everyone, just so we can get a good picture for anyone else who's, you know, maybe in the area, maybe wants to corroborate that story or have seen something similar, can you give me a detail of like what time are you seeing them? Is it at night? What are they looking like? And what, like you said, V formation, approximately how many? Like I just looking for some details. So if we saw a video tomorrow, I'd be like, hey, I know who talked about that.
Yeah. So, but in 2020, before Hurricane Laura hit, it was at least, oh God, I'd have to say, like, I sat there and watched them for at least 20 minutes. So it had to be at least like 80 to 100. And they were flying in a V shape. And it was like they were all spaced out, this exact like metric apart. And if one was lagging behind, you could kind of see them like do the little zip dart forward to close the gap.
Interesting.
That was another thing that made me think like definitely UFOs, because nothing else can close that amount of space in the blink of an eye, you know.
Yeah, to keep a uniform shape. But that also to me that also like that's an interesting one, because like a lot of these times I think of like for some reason automation and stuff of UFOs, and like I'm just such high tech like technology that we don't know about it, that like even seeing that like variation and change makes me think that like even in, you know, if these are UFOs and aliens, that like you still have like someone in the cockpit like manning these things, which is kind of a cool thought, which I usually don't think about.
Yeah, and they were doing the little dashboard, so it was pretty strange.
Now, what color? What color? Could you get a see on the color of them?
They were too high. I mean, they were like they were they were so high I couldn't get any kind of we saw some blinkies, but we couldn't really pick up a color.
Yeah. So just like a white, like just looking like a star.
Yeah, looked
Okay.
like a star unless you were paying attention, and the fact that there was like 100 of them in a perfect V, with exact spaces between them was kind of a giveaway.
And then
the sky the next day was just like, it looked like that titanium aura shit that they, used to spray crystals with.
yeah.
Like it just looks like that, that chemical film.
Yeah, that real gray look. That thin, almost like that thin layer. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it too. Now, how long after seeing this did the hurricane hit?
So it was the middle of the night that we saw the convoy, and then they announced that it was going to make landfall the next day, and then that evening, so like the following night.
So basically 24
it was like
hours.
24 hours later.
Okay. See,
and
and
now
the
hurricane it formed like basically out of nowhere, and it seems not only that, but they threw another hurricane at us right after that. So we had Hurricane Laura that was a 5, and then we had Hurricane Delta. It wasn't as bad, but I saw the chemtrails again before Hurricane Delta.
It's an interesting thought for me because I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what, like, perhaps there's a chance that this isn't even extraterrestrial, and if if the HARP facility and stuff, if we're to believe that they have the abilities to manipulate the weather, maybe it is a thing, and I'm gonna actually give them either or. Maybe it's a thing where like they're going and they're flying out and using HARP technology or something like that to start this, or maybe they're even going out there and say what could be a category 5. They use the HARP technology just to slow it down, and now it's a category 3. I don't know what hit.
Well,
what hit
and not
landfall.
only that, but it seems like they can move where the hurricane hit with the ionized whatever they're using to make chemtrails. It seems like it magnetizes the air,
Yeah.
so they can almost like direct it towards a specific area that they dusted.
Someone in the chat, just because I always like to, if people have questions in the chat, I always try to shoot them. Zeno Carmi said an interesting point too. She said, "What's also interesting is some U.S. states have now banned chemtrails." So it's like, it is.
So they at least acknowledge that they're real.
Yeah, exactly. It does like it does move away from just them being like, no, that's not a thing. It's but who knows? Maybe they're just doing that to appease voters. Like, if maybe it's not a thing, and they're going, whatever. Well, yeah, sure, we'll ban it because we can easily ban what's not real. So it's hard to say, but it does, in my eyes, give credence to that there might be doing something or have been doing something.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Well, and it was funny because like my husband, I was outside and he was staring at the sky. I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "You see the flying V?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Shit, dude." They're about to throw another hurricane at us, so I'm waiting for like an extreme weather event.
Oh no! Well,
over here.
If anyone here listening is out keeping those eyes in the skies as you always should be, and you see a convoy of hundreds of little UFO or unidentified lights in some sort of formation, set your watch, right? And
24 hours, you're doomed.
Yeah, 24 hours, and see let's see what happens. Let's see if anyone else has seen anything like this.
Yeah, and specifically towards the Gulf.
Yeah.
Like we've been having some fighter jets doing a bunch of I guess exercises or something right near us that never happened, and there's been just a lot of activity going on, like directed towards the Gulf.
Interesting.
So.
Well, got to keep our eyes open for that. Anna, thank you so much for calling in.
Hey, it's good to hear your voice, bro.
Nice to see you too. Hopefully we cross paths again in the future.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care of yourself.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Interesting. I always love people's UFO sightings. I have seen on MUFON a couple, listen to that. I can't even get a word in edgewise because those lines are hot. Well, lines take priority. Let's go right to the lines. Cosmic Channels. What's your name? Where you're calling from? Make sure to mute the live stream in the background there.
Oh, hi, mate. It's Keith from Down Under.
Whoa, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going good. How are you, mate?
Good, man.
Good. Just wanted to say you're a stupid idiot with a big butt. Your butt stinks, and you like to kiss your own butt.
Yeah, that's a good one there, Mr. Conspiracy.
Ah.
And you're banned from the show. Have a good night. Do you have a story you want to tell, or that was it? Why wouldn't you tell a story? You got tons of ghost stories. Anyways, it's interesting. Interesting with UFO calls. We got tons of. I've seen tons of MUFON ones with the tiny, almost like they look like speck size UFOs in the sky and flying by. So it's always interesting. Had a couple people in the chat donating I wanted to get to. Hillbilly hitting us up with the $10 donation saying this show is hotter than 2 rabbits in a wool sock. Yeah, it is, brother. Thank you for that. And then also, I always mess up this name, Ilindrol, with the $20 donation. It says the same thing. This show is hotter than 4 rabbits in 2 wool socks. Oh, doubled up. Like it. That's what this show survives on. This show survives on, your support, fan support, donations to the show, to help, pay the bills, keep the lights on, so to speak, keep the lines open. But we need a call. We need a call on the line. If you got a ghost story, paranormal story, UFO sighting, Sasquatch sighting, Mr. Conspiracy, you want to call back and actually tell a story instead of your stupid accent, come on back. It's 1-833-703-0424. And I'll give it about a minute, and then if not, I've got another written in story that I got someone special to read. So we'll go to that if the lines don't pop off. But I do have someone in the chat here asking for the number. It's 1-833-703-0424 is the number. So if you got any kind of story, I want to hear it. Spooky story. You've seen some Sasquatch in the woods. You got a ghost story. You grew up in a haunted house. Listen, Cosmic Channelers want to know about it. So call in. All right. Well, while we're waiting for that call, I'm going to flip you over to fan submission. And this one might take a while because the person I'm about to send it to struggles to read. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, my name's Andrew from ATT. Today I'm going to be reading some fan submissions for Cosmic Channels. The Haunting of Westridge. So let me start off by saying, hey, my name is Brittany. I recently discovered your podcast and I love it. I listen to a lot of other ones, but your guys' is the best. Oh, thanks, Brittany. Appreciate the love. Right, so I've only told the story of the haunted house to my close friends. It's something that just still freaks me out to this day to think about. I lived in the house for 3 years, and it was hands down the worst 3 years of my life. Let it be known that my family, up till now, didn't believe in ghosts. My aunt and I were hugely into them, and I've played Ouija boards. It's your first mistake. I've seen shit my whole life. I've heard shit my whole life. But my parents are like, hey, it's all in your head, so fuck it. Who am I to argue? The only one who's ever believed me is my aunt. The summer before my 10th grade year, we had to move. My parents rented a house. The person who had owned it decided to stop paying the mortgage on it, so we had to get out fast. My parents looked at a few places, but most were too small. At this point, my mom, dad, brother, me, my aunt, uncle, and their 4 children. That's 10 people. About 8 too many for me. So I go with them one day, and they say they see a rent sign. We pull up to this older farmhouse, and like I said, I've seen stuff, I've heard stuff, and I just kind of have this sixth sense about me, I guess. So I'm like, nope, I'm not going in there. I get that. I've had that feeling many times in my life. My mom's like, come on, it's fine. I was like, hard pass. The very aura of the house just felt off. Like, have you ever been somewhere and you have a feeling in the back of your mind, this place had bad juju? Well, that was this place for me. My parents chalk it up to me being a teenager and not wanting to move. About 30 minutes later, they come out and say, yep, this is the place. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The one place, I'm like, hey, maybe let's not. Fast forward, we moved in. The place is average size. It has a sunroom, kitchen, dining room, living room on the first floor. Then you go up a flight of steps, about 24 of them, and you have small hallways and 4 doors. 3 are bedrooms and 1 is a bathroom. Naturally, my brother is older and he gets the bigger room, which we discover has a big door in it that leads to the attic. It's never good. It's your standard attic. Dusty, pretty big, not finished. Oh, I wonder, does it have those stairs that pop down out of the little entry? We discussed this in another case file. So naturally, we use it as storage. Oh, and there was a basement. The creepiest basement I have ever been in my whole life. Not finished, all concrete. It's like underground, obviously. I think most basements are. But there are 2 doorways in it. One has a wood ceiling. You could see through parts of the wood, and there is a concrete stairs that probably go straight to the pit of hell. That makes sense. That tracks. And the other door just leads to nothing. It's like a small cubby space that goes a foot in, and it's all concrete. The rest of the basement is dimly lit and covered in spiderwebs. What do you mean, a fucking door to nowhere? Like, ooh. I mean, for your sake, I hope that door goes to fucking Narnia. Night 1. This place has no central air, so we need to put units in all the windows. It's hotter than hell outside. It's like late June, almost July at this point. So we throw an AC unit in the living room, and me and my cousins are going to sleep there. We had been moving all day, so it didn't take long for us to fall asleep. Well, I wake up around 3 a.m. It's always 3 a.m. The TV's on. There is a light on in the kitchen. The one that hangs over the stove, and I'm like, cool, we're fine. My cousins are scattered across the ground, and I'm on the couch. I'm pretty much just waiting to fall back asleep, but for some reason my eyes keep drifting to the kitchen. I feel really uneasy, but I try to brush it off. Up until our pantry closet door opens so slowly. At this point, I'm frozen. I feel that icy cold fear rushing all over me, so I wake my cousins up. I'm like, hey, is that door open? She's like, yep. I said, well, it just opened by itself. I watched it with my own 2 eyes. She's still waking up, so she's kind of like, what? And then it starts closing slowly. To which we were both sort of like, holy fuck. And I said, on the count of 1, we run. Okay, let's try that again. And then it starts closing slowly. To which we were both like, holy fuck. And I said, on the count of 3, we run for my room. Pirate, Brittany? For my room. 1, 2, and I ran. Because if the demon of spawn is going to get someone, it ain't going to be me. I get that. I appreciate that. I left her. I'm not sorry. We make it to my room, and it's hot. Even for being at nighttime. At this point, I open all the windows and I say, we have 2 options. We go back down there and try to sleep, which for me was a big old nope, or we stay up here, block the door, and hopefully don't die from heat stroke. We chose heat stroke. The next day, my cousin comes up to me and is like, why did you guys sleep upstairs? So I tell her. She got really offended that we left her down there with the demon, but we all laughed it off. I'll pretty much stop here, and if you're interested in the rest, let me know. Throughout the 3 years, things got worse. It started with doors, then there was whispers, feeling like you're being watched. Seeing full body apparitions, recording and hearing little girls I would see all the time. Ooh. Things would fly off the counter, and then there is the day I went to the basement. And to this day, I can't even comprehend what actually happened. The house was for sure haunted, but I can't help but wonder if it was as cheesy as it sounds, and do I hate saying it, a portal for demons. I also have a story about an abandoned house that me and my mom went to, where I felt so creeped out. We started hearing someone whistling. I went downstairs to see if someone had come. I started calling for my mom, but she wouldn't answer. So, after a few minutes, I went upstairs, and she had been calling me the whole time too. But neither of us heard each other. The place later came back to haunt me. Anyways, I'd love to dive deeper into my stories if you're interested, but obviously typing all of it takes a few hours. And I don't want to type it all and not have you interested. Thanks, Brittany. Well, first of all, Brittany, it's fucking terrifying. We're extremely interested. But we need the stories about these full body apparitions and all this other shit that you just touch on the craziest parts. We need that's the stuff we're here for. That's the stuff we need. So you either, here's your opportunity, because you know what? You can call in. I mean, but if you're a little bit too chicken, you seem like you've been through some shit though. You seem like you're tough. If you can live through this kind of stuff, you can definitely handle calling into the live show and giving your stories on air. But if you are too chicken, and anybody else listen to this, if you're too chicken, don't want to do it, you can always email us at CosmicChannels@gmail.com. And just tag it.
It's actually CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, fucking motherfucker. So what do I got to do then? Redo it?
No, just I'll leave this in as well.
So it's CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com. So yeah, send your fan submissions in. But I'm telling you, this is your time to shine, to be famous, to get on the air and, tell your story to like the tens of people who listen. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
And just like that, listen, if you got a story that, you're too nervous to call, like Andrew said, and you want it on Cosmic Channels, you can just send the story into CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com, and you will never know who's going to read it. But, we had a caller. We got a caller on the line. I'm going to bring Sammy. Sammy's on the line.
Hey, guys.
Sammy, where are you calling from? You told me, but I instantly forgot. It's Washington. I knew when you said the city, I went, I'll never remember this.
No, it's all right. Yakima's not that important. Yakima?
Yakima? No, it's important. I just couldn't remember. Instantly, I was like, Yakima. Instantly in one ear, out the other. Thank you for calling. What do you got for us tonight?
Yeah, so my story today is going to be about aliens. So kind of like a little... So I've been seeing aliens since I was about 6 or 7 years old. I have about like 100 stories, but I just want to tell this one because this one is like the most craziest fucked up one.
Yeah, okay.
And whenever I tell people like the story, then I don't know if they think I'm crazy or whatever, but it's either I'm crazy or it's a coincidence or it's fucking real. Anyways, so my daughter, so she will be 7 in January. So when I was pregnant with her, I think I was about like 8 or 9 months pregnant. So I had all of like the whole ultrasounds, like the whole amniocentesis test, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And everything was fine. Like my baby was good. She was like all healthy and whatever. And so we never had any chromosomal differences like in any of like our families, like in like my family or his family.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so when I was like 9 months pregnant, I was at home. Then I was alone. Then I was like watching TV on my couch, and then so I was there with like my big German Shepherd Bruce, and then so I would say it was maybe like 9-10 o'clock. So while I'm watching TV, while I'm also playing on my Switch and whatever, but so then all of a sudden, like, it's really weird. So whenever like I see aliens, everything goes quiet. Kind of like on like that movie called Dead Silence, like where everything kind of goes quiet and then something fucking scary happens.
Yeah, like no ambient noise, no nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like the only thing is that so I don't catch it because it happens so fast. So then I'm just like, oh, like maybe like my TV's not working or my phone, my Switch or whatever. So all of a sudden, like everything just went quiet. Then I remember like that was kind of floating up in like the air, maybe about like a foot or two off the ground. Then I remember seeing this gray like floating above me because like at that point I was somehow like in like a laying down position, but I was still like off the ground. And then so I remember seeing this gray alien like floating above me. And then it's weird because I remember seeing like the big head, and then like the super black eyes, but they weren't like really, really big, that they're probably about the size of like our eye sockets.
Okay.
And then I remember him being mad because I remember seeing like the little wrinkles like on his little like eyebrows, like when you make like a frown or something.
Yeah, okay.
And then then I don't know why he talked to me. he was pretty much pissed that I was pregnant. Then all of a sudden, this like long needle, I would say maybe about like 9-10 inches long. So it was just floating like right above me. Then this fucking needle goes and pokes in my stomach, and then me, I'm like paralyzed, like still can't move, can't talk, can't do nothing. And then this little blood drop floats away from me. And then all of a sudden, I'm back to normal. Everything's fine. So I'm checking my stomach. Everything's good. So then when I have my daughter, everything's all fine and dandy, whatever. But, like, all of a sudden, like, there were just so much problems, like, with her. Like, that she couldn't eat. She had, like, a low immune system. And then turns out, like, 3-4 months later, like, so after I had her, well, then we had to do, like, some tests because she was just, like, kind of struggling, like, in life, you know? Turns out that my daughter has DiGeorge syndrome. And what that pretty much means is, like, that you're missing a chromosome. And, like, both doctors, so I had one of, like, the best gynecologists, like, in the state pretty much. And she was like, Sammy, I've seen the test. I've seen the ultrasounds. We've done, like, the test. I don't know how this happened.
Like
So
how
I
it
don't
didn't get
know-
noticed beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if, like, when, like, the alien took, like, that blood drop, if they ended up taking a part of her chromosome. And now she has DiGeorge syndrome and whatnot. I have no idea.
No, interesting. And that this is not the first time you. So is this this not the first time you've seen this gray alien? Because you said you've seen aliens. Like, is it recognizable? Like, is it the same alien you always see?
So him, I would probably say I've probably seen him about a good 10-15 times.
10-15 times throughout your life?
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting to me because, you know, we've done shows and, you know, looked into tons of cases where it's like seemingly one person and then their family will be kind of just monitored almost, right, for life, right? So it's interesting that you know, this has been happening to you now. You have something that's affected your daughter, because we've heard stories of, you know, moms and parents being abductees, and then, you know, kids when they grow up start having experiences as well. So I've always kind of been fascinated by that because I'm like, is it a coincidence, or is it that, you know, if they're like, if this is some sort of science-based observation, are they picking you and then coming back to you every time because you're their baseline? Like they're like, oh, we're going to track this person, kind of like how we tag an animal out in the woods and we'll go back and, you know, check on it, right? It's interesting.
Yeah. Well then, so actually, so then my grandpa, so then my mom's dad, when he was still alive, we were having a barbecue one time outside of his house on like a summer night, and then it was just beautiful outside. Well, I had never told no one except for my mom about like me seeing aliens. So one day I brought it up, and my grandpa said, "Oh, so you're one of them?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And then my grandpa like was telling me like that. So apparently my grandpa's dad had started seeing aliens. And then my grandpa's dad told my grandpa that for some reason, like that they like our bloodline. So my grandpa had seen them, my mom, 2 of my uncles, and then about 3 of my cousins, including myself.
That's interesting because we've always said, you know, we've kind of theorized back and forth of like, if these things can traverse space and time, and you know, time doesn't work for them like it works for us, you know, maybe all these visitations over the course of your life is a span of like a day of work for them. You know what I mean? Like it's just they're popping in and out at different times of your life to, you know, do scientific research, right? So, but as for you getting it's just interesting that it was mad that you were pregnant.
Yeah, well, because I remember like when I was younger and stuff, so I would always see that one specifically, and then there was this other one that I would see too, but he was so nice. Because I remember like that. So he was the first one that I had ever seen, like when I was 6 or 7 years old. But he was like kind of tallish, but kind of like muscular. But he was like a greenish gray color, and he was fucking ugly. Like he had like the weird, like fucked up like teeth, kind of like a Drake. But he was nice though. So I don't know if he was a Drake or not, but he was always so nice to me. So I don't know if this gray was pissed off. I don't know, but I mean, I just kind of know like that they were always watching me, always just checking up on me. So maybe I wasn't ever supposed to get pregnant or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we could get crazy and say all like we've heard stories of the hybridization plants and stuff like that. Like maybe they come down, they're like, "Damn it, we had you. You were supposed to carry a hybrid. What are you doing?" Right?
Right.
You're not even married. I'm just kidding.
I know.
But it's an interesting thing that you like because you don't sound too fearful of these events. Now maybe I'm reading the story, but it doesn't sound like it's not like most of them aren't terrifying events. So it doesn't sound like they're aggressive or it does kind of seem from your stories like it's just observing and coming back and checking in.
Yeah. And then like it's kind of weird because so kind of speaking of checking in, like my daughter, so then she'll be like, so then she's 6 right now. But so with her like syndrome, so she's kind of so then she's deaf.
Yeah.
And then so when I had brought that up, so she had told me one time when she was about like 3 or 4 years old that she would see these little gray kids talking to her at night. And then I'm like, what do you mean, baby? And then she would just like, yeah, but they're nice to me. Like that, they always talk to me like whenever I'm playing in like my room. I know that you're like in your room. So I don't want to freak her out. So then I'm like, well, are they nice to you? Like, do they hurt you? And then she's like, no, they always talk to me. So then I had brought that up to one of my uncles, the one like that's also part of like our bloodline or whatever. And then he kind of said something, and he just said, well, it makes sense because if they did mess with her, like when they took away that blood drop, it makes sense as to like why she's deaf. And I was like, why? And then he said, well, because you don't have to hear to talk to them because they talk to you to like your mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bruh, motherfucker. And then I'm like, I'm just kind of like upset because so then she does kind of tell me like every now and then like that she sees these little gray kids and stuff. But it just makes me mad because I'm like, you know what? Like, mess with me, pull my ass. I don't give a shit. But don't be messing with my fucking kid.
Yeah, no, 100%. It'll be. I mean, yeah, it's terrifying for numerous reasons. But yeah, messing with the kids is that's never a good thing. But it's still wild to me that your whole family has seen it. It just kind of makes me think that they kind of like tag humans, like same thing like we kind of tag animals. They tag certain humans and they study. Like, why not? It would make sense. Like they would study a family line, like going through the years and generations. If that's what they're doing. So, I mean, to me, it sounds like the you floating while you're pregnant sounds terrifying. That's definitely extra freaky. I don't know what was going on that time, but thank you so much for calling in and sharing that story. I know you got more, and we're gonna want more, but let's save it for another week. You can call back in, tell us some other ones. Maybe I'd love to hear the first time you started having these experiences. So maybe we can save that for next time.
Okay, yeah, definitely. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, Braden.
Thank you, Sammy, and hopefully you and your daughter don't have too many more visits.
I hope so, but doubt it.
Okay, take care of yourself.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
You guys too. Goodbye.
Oh, it's terrifying, man. Ugh, just like the thing is like you living through those experiences as a kid and then as an adult is one thing, but then if that's been happening to you and then you have a kid, I'm just thinking I couldn't imagine if then my kids started saying they had the same experiences because you almost feel powerless. So you're like, well, I couldn't do anything going through, so like how can I protect my kid? Terrifying. Hopefully they're just observing and nothing more than that. But the lines, just like that, lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. If you got a story you want to call in, the lines are open. I wanted to say, so yeah, we have tons of people supporting the show. What we're saving up for is right now we're saving up for little social media manager profiles on Vista Social, so make it easier to print or ship off social media clips and stuff everywhere in one click. It's a couple $100, and I've been thinking about bringing back a fan favorite. I don't know. We'll talk about it in the shareholders meeting after the show, but maybe bringing back what's in the box. I've kind of got an idea of how I would do it if we want to bring it back, but we can discuss that afterwards. I'm hoping to get one or two more calls. So if you're sitting there humming and hawing and you want to come share your story, 1-833-703-0424. Or if you want to support the show and you're like, how can I support the show? PayPal QR code is right there if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. I know Facebook's not working right now. I don't know why it's off and on. Or just paypal.me/CosmicChannels is the best way. Or you can hit us, that donation right in the super chat. Goes right to the little work bar there. We did have a couple people do the best way already, and one of them is Rodolfo. He definitely wants his he's coming back for his top spot, Clayton. He gave a nice big old $40 donation via PayPal. Thank you, Rodolfo. Definitely, this is everything that we raise here goes back into the show. So I'm just trying to grow the show as much as I can. So every dime we bring in, put right back into it. So the other thing I wanted to talk about here, before we go to another fan story, I have one more fan read submission that I can show you guys tonight. Easy way to help the show. If you're looking for a financial free way to help the show, it's really easy. Download the show on Apple or Spotify. Hit the show with a 5-star review. Like and share a post of Cosmic Channels and tell your friends, because the only way we can keep the show going is if we keep getting callers and we keep having more listeners wanting to call in with their stories. So tell your friends. Your friend's got a story, and you know they're just sitting on it. I want to hear it. So unless anyone's going to call, I got another fan read submission here. So let's send it over to Dan right now.
Hey guys, this is Andrew from ATT, and I'm going to be reading a fan submission from Cosmic Channels. Okay guys, this all goes back to when I was 15. My first encounter seemed to be smoke and mirrors. What I mean is, I couldn't chalk it up to being aliens. Yet. One Saturday night, I was watching TV with my grandfather. He was the only one with me. As we were watching TV, we noticed that our dog was barking. He was an outdoor dog, so we had to go out in order to feed him and take care of him. He was acting up around the same time we usually feed him, so we figured we would go out and feed him. So I grabbed my flashlight, my grandfather grabbed the dog food, and just as we were about to head out, that's when the power went out. As the power went out, the phone started ringing. I picked up the phone, and there was no real words to describe the sounds I heard on the phone. It was a metallic sound mixed with language that I had never heard before, and I was freaking out. But I knew I had to guide my grandfather with all the predators as we live in the deep backwoods. Coming back from feeding my dog, my eyes began to adjust to the darkness. As I stepped towards the basement, I glanced to my left. Just near the trees, I kind of see a tall figure. And as soon as I saw this figure, it quickly took off. I came inside and went through a mental recap, trying to digest what I had witnessed, as if I suspected my mind was playing tricks on me. My face and body held still while I entered, and I made an attempt slowly to adjust my mind and body. Then I appeared out in the exact same location again, and whatever it was gone. The power was out for the whole night, so we had slept. The following day, my uncle had come back from his trip from Anchorage in Alaska, where he had stayed with my cousins. It wasn't until the following week that I had talked about it with him. Not because I told him what had happened. He was told by my grandfather. In fact, the only reason my uncle spoke to me about this is because he witnessed the same thing, only outside his bathroom on the second floor. He claimed he had seen a figure peering a near 150 yards away from the shed. He was a tall, black figure. The shed being 11 foot tall, and he was a similar size. After 2 minutes of watching this thing watch him, it walked casually into our neighbor's yard. We agreed we would search the area to see if we could come up with any possible evidence to put plausible theory to what we saw. We brought up the concept of aliens with my uncle, but he seemed hesitant to actually say that he felt that's what it was. So searching around was more for him than it was for me. I was a little more cautious because I grew up watching so much sci-fi. As we continued our search into the yard, we noticed a large patch of grass pressed down into a perfect circle. We knew then we were being spied on. The only thing that we thought would help is going out shooting targets to let whatever or whoever know we weren't going to be easy to pick off. After blasting a large amount of ammunition over the period of a week, we stopped having problems for about 3 months. And then started seeing the lights, and then they started to visit us inside our... What? And then I started seeing the lights, and then they started to visit us inside our house. How do you end the story after they visit you inside your house? Like, what? From MA. That story's fucking wild. We stopped having problems for about 3 months, and then I started seeing the lights. And then they started to visit us inside our house. Yeah. Okay, listen, buddy. MA, we need more to this. I need more. So obviously there's like, is this to be continued? Because I don't see to be continued. It's fucking wild. Calling in during the live show is the way to go. It's your chance to, get a little spotlight and shine. And, take your moment. It's your moment. It's your moment to shine. So do it. Call. But if you don't want to, if you're a little chicken, or maybe you just don't like the sound of your voice, I get it. I hate the sound of my own voice. You can always email your fan submissions. But the problem is you don't know who's going to be reading your stories. You're going to have me, old peanut butter mouth, butchering your story like I just did. Right? So if that's the case and you want to take the risk, you can always email us at CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com.
Just like Andrew said there, if you want your story read on the air, you can send it in to CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com. That's, I'm working on getting some other people to read stuff, so maybe there'll be more surprises. So if you want to send a story in written, I'm going to try to reach out and get some other people to read them. So, but while we were listening to that call, we have a caller online. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, man? My name's Alden. I'm from Utah, fucking born and raised. Been here for a fat minute, so.
What's going on, Alden? We were talking a little bit before. He was, he is a longtime fan of the show, Alien Theorist and Cosmic Channel. So, and he's a first-time caller tonight. What do you got for us tonight?
All right, man. Well, it's super mundane, honestly, in the setting of it, but because of that, it was pretty fucking disreality setting in. So, like I mentioned earlier, at that place where I was doing construction, or not construction, but wood shop work alone, completely for 8 hours a day. It's in this place out in Utah called Far West, so it's just this industrial setting. Nothing but some trailers and then just metal fabrication warehouses for a fat minute. And so I'm leaving the warehouse. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a summer day, so it's super bright outside. Sun's still up. And I'm heading south, right? And the way my area is set up is there's mountains on my left pretty close, right, if I'm facing south. And then it's just flat all the way out for 50 miles until it's just the horizon,
Yeah, big sky.
And so I'm driving on this highway. Sorry?
Big sky.
Yeah, big sky, exactly, big sky. And so I'm driving south, and it's just me on this highway, some roads ahead of me with cars and shit, and I see this tiny little silver blip out in the distance, and I've been, obviously watching you guys, and so keep your eyes on the sky, and I'm fucking looking, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And from my perspective, it was 30 miles out. It was way out there, and just this little blip. And in the span of 15 seconds, it goes from this blip to bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And suddenly it's 2 miles away from me to like the east, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about 2,500 feet in the air, and I'm looking at this thing, and it's like this like peanut-shaped silver object just hanging up in the sky, just over what would be like 12th Street, Ogden, where I'm at, and it's just sitting up there, man. And I'm driving. I look at it. I'm like, what the fuck? I look back at the road because I'm obviously driving. I look back at it, tracking it, look back at the road, look back at it, back at the road, and then I look back, and it's completely gone.
That's interesting. It's like, so like metallic, like definitely like that shiny silver metallic. Is that what we're talking about here?
Oh, straight up silver metallic, yeah. And like for my best guess on size, it was like, if you could imagine like 4 school buses,
Yeah.
like on top of each other.
That's how big each
You know,
kind of
so
side
not-
of the peanut
not
was?
all 4 on top of each other, but like a cube, you know, so like one's next to each other, one's on top of it, and
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Totally. And like, so it wasn't a cube, it was like oblong peanut shaped, you know, kind of like a, you ever see the Bean out in New York?
Sorry, what? The being?
The Bean, yeah, it's an art installation.
The bean.
man.
Yes.
You've
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
it?
No. Yes. Yes. The bean. Yes. Sorry, I thought you said the
Totally, yeah.
being. The bean. Yes, I do know.
No. Yeah. So like, imagine the bean just in the fucking sky, 1 second, and then the next second it's gone.
Well, Alden, I'll tell you, it really piques my interest because as you know, as I've humbly bragged nonstop, I watch more UFO videos than anyone on Earth, and read more UFO reports than anyone on Earth. That's self-proclaimed. I don't even. That might not even be close, but I read a
believe
lot.
it.
I have read a ton of reports that describe very similar to what you see, but I've never seen I've never seen a picture attached to these reports or a video. It's just talks about like some people talk about like an oblong silver shape, 2 spheres put together with a tube. I've seen peanut. So I've seen a sponge. People describe it as a sponge, like a giant silver sponge in the sky. So when as soon as you started saying silver peanut, I was like, man, this is I've heard lots of people, I've read lots of reports about people seeing this very similar thing, but I've never been able to, you know, because sometimes you'll see someone has like a side picture of something or a blurry photo. There's been nothing of this thing. It's all written reports, which is very fascinating.
And I would have taken all the pictures I could have, but driving, nothing could have been done, and I felt absolutely cock-blocked in my ability to gather evidence. Because, like, it was in the middle of the day, sun shining, and I hope I wasn't the only one seeing it. This was in 2020, just before the pandemic was hitting out. So 2019, actually. It was 2019, and July. So if anyone Utah-based saw something like that summer, I hope you know that someone saw it too.
Well, and I mean, I think a lot of people always, you know, even me, I'm like, where was your phone? But it's like people forget that when you see something spectacular or you see something startling, pulling out your phone is a lot of times your last, like the last thought that goes through your head.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
Like,
not to mention, you know, if you were in a large metropolitan area and there's 10-foot shadow people.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that one's a little crazy. That one's still crazy to me. I'm still, you know,
It's pretty crazy. Oh yeah.
I would say to me, if there wasn't a video that showed about 1,000 cop cars lined up, I would say, oh yeah, nothing probably happened. It's the fact that
Nothing.
that kind of police response for what it is, and that, you know, then you have all these conflicting reports. You have people coming out and they said they saw shadows, they saw 10-foot figures, people were shooting guns. You know, you have some officers saying they saw something on TikTok, then you have some saying there was nothing. I'm like, man, what was happening there? I have no idea, but it's wild.
Well, you know, that whole, like, you know, the Project Bluebeam, some talk about it's like
Like
it's
a hologram?
dip a toe in the water of the psyops, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's what some people are saying is this one is it's a psyop, and it's like, you know, it's just interesting. The police the police responded. I get it. You know, it's some people in the last live when we were talking about said like if only they'd respond like that to school shootings. And I mean it's a dark thing, but it's like, yeah, you're like, that is there was a crazy amount of cops at that mall. And I mean, that's kind of the response you want for everything, but it is something's weird with going on with that one. So we'll wait and see, because I think the official report is kids with sticks, bunch of teens fighting with sticks, and I'm like, it's quite the call out. So
yeah, no fucking joke. And even in my small area, it's like, 6 cops' cars will come out to like a shoplifting spree situation, and so like that's Midwest bullshit. You know what I mean? We don't have anything happening out here, and so they're like, oh, like a real
action.
metropolitan city.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. And Alden, as promised, Alden asked me about my catio experience. I usually frame them with 2x4s, and then I go to what I do is, if you have bigger cats, you can get away with using like cattle fence that I usually buy off Marketplace. Or if you want to get really fancy, you can go to your local like farm and game shop and you buy like the chicken coop fencing, and it comes really flat, and you can make it look really nice with that stuff.
So I've heard, so I've seen. I bet your stuff is gorgeous.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Dude, thanks for picking up. Thanks for taking it.
Take care.
Hey, peace.
And listen, I gotta see if I want more of these peanut calls. If you've seen the peanut, if you've seen the silver peanut, you've seen the sponge-like thing, you've seen something that's similar to what Alden's seen, Colin, I want to know, because I've read a handful of these reports, enough that it stuck in my mind when he started talking. I was like, he's talking about the same thing that I've read. I'll take one more call. You got to call quick though if you want to be the last call, or else we'll leave it at that. I'll give 1 minute here if anyone wants to be the last call of the night. 1-833-703-0424, or we're going to shut the lines down and head on over to the shareholders meeting that we have on YouTube and Twitch. So if you're not following, if you're listening on Instagram, go to YouTube, Cosmic Channels, YouTube Alien Theorists, or Twitch, Cosmic Channels, and find us there. All right, well, that's what we're going to do. We're wrapping up. The lines are now closed. Thank you, everyone who's supporting the show. You know what? Before we go, I always forget to do this at the end of the show, and I'm not going to today. I forgot to check if there's any last-minute donations before we head out. There is not. Perfect. Okay, thank you, everyone, for supporting the show. Thank you, everyone who called in today. We cannot do this show without you. This is, in fact, the Fans Show. I'm just here hosting it, and we'll see you next Thursday on Cosmic Channels. The lines are now closed. We're back. Shareholder meeting. What's up, everybody? How's the audio and everything? Everyone in the chat? Everything work out okay? Everything seem all right? I think it's going pretty smoothly. Someone in the chat earlier, I was going to say it on the show, but I thought I'd leave it for this. Someone said, Braden, you look really tired tonight. And I booked if you're following Alien Theorists Theorizing, you know I've started to dabble in the mystic arts of acupuncture. And I booked my second appointment today. And the guy who does the acupuncture for me is like this older guy. He's kind of a bigger guy. And I was literally in tears laying on the table. I was in so much pain when he was digging me with these needles that when I left there, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can barely walk. So like this whole episode, I've been so uncomfortable because I had it go in my stomach, and he basically needled both my ass cheeks. So my ass is just killing me from the stupid acupuncture. But I've always feel better. The day after I feel worse, and then the day after that I feel better. So I probably won't line up another acupuncture before next Cosmic Channels. Some people say that you should not be hurting. You know what's funny is when you go see this guy goes, the first thing he says, he goes, "Have you heard about me?" And then he proceeds to tell you that, like, you know, there's a range of acupuncturists from, "Did you feel that?" Or like, "That was nice and relaxing," to, "Oh my God, holy shit." And he's like, "I'm, oh my God, holy shit." He's like, "But you will see results. I promise you that." And the first time it was, "Oh my God, holy shit. That was terrible." And 2 days after, I was like, "I feel like $1,000,000 fucking." So I went back, and the second I got on the table, I was like, "Why am I doing this to myself? This is, it's like being tortured." I would give him my banking information. It's like being tortured. I would instantly spill all the beans. It was brutal. But shareholders meeting, guys, I'm really happy to make an announcement that last week's episode was the highest listened episode since we restarted to Cosmic Channels. By about 100, which is, you know, doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a big jump in this slow growth. So I was like really happy to see that. That's thanks to all you guys who have been, you know, pumping out ideas and stuff, and you know, telling all your friends and sharing. That's the only way this show grows. Looking at this week, we can kind of see. Let's look at checking. Oh, how do I do this? Podcast stats. This, you know what? This week's, we're on pace for another big one. We're on pace. I don't know if it's going to beat last week's. Last week's was good. It might come close though. Still, fuck. Are you serious? So I'm having trouble with Restream here. Let's redo that right now. What the issue I'm having here is, if you didn't notice, some people were complaining about, I can see that Twitch is having a problem, and Facebook just instantly drops the stream. So I don't know why it's not updating. I might have to, I've pre-planned all these, so I might have to delete them all now again, because I don't think I can just edit them, and I think that's what's happened. Shit. Okay, well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll have to delete all the ones I posted and then repost them. I think that's the only way, because editing them, I think that's what might be messing up the Facebook feed anyways. Let me make a note for myself to do this again now. Other than that, let's look at the funds here. We have $240 in the kitty. Now, the two things that I would like to put this money towards, what I've been thinking about, is one is I can piggyback on our current subscription for Alien Theorists Theorizing for Vista Social, and it's $3 a profile. And what it does is it's single posting. So if I post a reel, it posts to everything. I just have to post it once. It's a huge time saver for me. Having a kid and stuff, I have to do all the Cosmic Channels posts individually off my phone. So I individually post to Instagram. I individually post to Facebook. I individually post to TikTok. I individually post to YouTube. It's just time consuming. It's just and you know, I don't have the most amount of time. So that's what I would like to, that would make my life real easy when posting socials. But at the same time, the socials aren't really flying off the charts or anything. We've had some good ideas in the ATT Discord about, you know, I kind of pitched the idea of, I had it where I would post the clips in the Discord, and then if anyone wanted to download them, you can post them to your own socials, create your own clips page and post them, and who knows, maybe someone will go viral. It'll be cool. I don't know. They could teach me how to do it. But is there any other ideas? So I'm fixed. As soon as I do this one, I'm going to delete all the future episodes. I'll redo them. I only think I have 4 more planned, so it's not that big of a deal, and they're not that hard to redo. But then I'll redo the numbers. That's priority 1 for me. The other thing is, bring it back. You guys want to see what's in the box brought back? I had some ideas, but I want to see some yeses in the chat before I actually decide to bring it back, because it would be a little bit of work for the idea I have. And I don't know if I would have it ready for next week. It would probably take 2 weeks to get the idea ready. But if I don't see any yeses in the chat or anything, I won't do it. Number in the YouTube feed. I don't know if YouTube's really lagging behind or what's going on today. I'm just having really issues. YouTube in the feed. I'm not getting any response. So you know what? I'm gonna take that as I'm gonna take what's in the box off the table. I'm gonna have to do it. Oh yeah, it's lagging. Someone's saying yes. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not sure what I've done today. Because I could not get it to work on Facebook. I tried for maybe the first 5 minutes to get it working, but it just kept disconnecting instantly. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to just disconnect everything and retry, because Facebook's his big audience, so it's frustrating, because we would definitely hit record numbers if we could stream to Facebook and Instagram, which we have yet to do because Facebook didn't work last week either. It didn't work again this week. I don't know why. I'll have to troubleshoot and see why. Maybe it might be because both of them can't work at once, because those accounts are connected. Okay, so I got 2 yeses for what's in the box. Can I get a third yes? Anyone else want to be a third yes? Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm not sure exactly how far behind it is, and I don't know why. It's never that bad before. Something to do with Restream. I'm not sure. There's twice it dipped and said went from excellent to poor. I just have no idea. Maybe it's we are currently in some weather, ultra cold weather, so maybe it's the old internet's freezing up. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely frustrating to not get a better real-time chat. I'm just opening Discord here too, so if you're in the Discord, let's go check out the Cosmic Channels, what the line is. Bandito was saying too that there's the third yes. Perfect. So Bandito was saying, this is another good idea. If you guys want to help this show, go to other shows. There's other podcasts and stuff. Like there's one, the best of Coast to Coast AM. You can go to those shows and just, leave them a nice review. Say, hey, I love these call-in shows. If you like this one, you're looking for another one, Cosmic Channels, baby. Because yeah, it's awesome. I just want to grow the show so we're nonstop callers, which we're almost at right now. I mean, this week and last week, I only had to use 2 fan submission stories, and I have tons. I have like 50 more written fan submissions, so we got tons. So this is what I'm thinking for. What's in the box? I was gonna buy a really cool looking chest from Amazon. I think it was like $69. Like it's like a cool spooky looking chest. Sorry, I'm just got a dry throat now. And what I was gonna do is I was gonna actually have a what's in the box camera. So it's like when you're looking at me, where I would be, it would flip from me and my camera to a what's in the box cam, so you could actually see the box. And I have some ideas of, maybe potentially having some way to, make the box shake, right? Where so when the camera went, the box would be like, or the lid would be going up and down, or maybe the lid would crack open. There'd be a bright light in it. And then I would actually have something in it. And I don't know if it would necessarily be a prize or anything, but what I thought would be funny is, because I don't want people guessing a prize, because then it narrows the ability to guess. And we're looking for, people to, guess what's in it. So, but what I was thinking is whatever it is in there, whatever it is, if you guess it, I'll send it to you. Right? So even if it's like just, I have Dan sent me right over there is a giant lavender penis air freshener that just hangs on my wall. Like if that was in there and you guessed that, I would be like, you guessed it. Send it. I thought that would be kind of funny. Just, a little fun at the end of a call, really quick. Bring it back. Let's try it. Okay, yeah. I mean, we got 3 people. So the box I wanted to get, it's a cool looking box on Amazon. It's like $65, but it's a cool one. Let me see if I can. Hey, man. That penis air freshener that Dan got me is priceless. That's not garbage. It smells delicious. It smells like lavender in here because of that thing. It's not garbage. It's a prized possession. But I would put something interesting in the box. I'm not saying I would put like a ruler, or maybe I would. I can't tell anyone, but I'd put something cool in there. But no one might ever guess, and that's totally fine too. I'll try to get hold on. Let me try to see if I can find the box I wanted to get. See if you guys agree with it. Because I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do it, I want a cool looking box. Where's the chest? I want a cool looking box, so it's like, very like. In my head, I was like smoke machine too, but it would come back to me, and like my room would be covered in smoke. Creative chest. Something like this, but it wasn't this one. But this looks very similar. That one's too small. Oh, this one. Yes, this one. Handcrafted wooden. Okay, how do I? Okay, hold on, stand by. I might destroy the stream here to show everyone this. How can I show you guys this? Window capture. Ah. Look at that. Look at that box. Handcrafted leather. I just thought it would look cool. Like that would look like if it cut to that, and I'll have like a light on it. It'll be on it by itself, and the camera, like I'll be able to switch the camera to it. Yeah, and it's bigger. The reason I was like, well, actually, it doesn't look that big. Oh, that's a decent size. It's big as a drawer. London Drugs sells them first. Okay, I will look. Okay, so, hey, Sean, if you want to call, I'll take your call late. I know you can't call in. If you want to call and tell your story, we can pretend it's still Cosmic Channels, and I'll plug your story at the end of the show. I felt bad for hanging up on you, and I promise I won't hang up on you again. I pinky swear. Listen, I'm actually going to open the line. I'll do it if you want. The line's open for you if you want to call. Yeah, okay, someone says London Drugs. I'll check that. I'll check that first. But is everyone okay if I spend the money on that and then Vista Social? Like, I know the Vista Social thing's a little bit... Yeah, okay. If you send it, I'll sign it. 100%. Yeah, I'll sign it. It's worth... If I sign it, it's worth less. It's whatever I sent is now just wrecked. It's what's happened. But I can wreck whatever I'm about to send, 100%. But is everyone else okay? And this one is a little selfish, but it's going to cost. So for YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I think those are the only socials I have for Cosmic Channels. And that would be about $144 US for the year to add that to our and that's actually kind of cheap because ATT already pays for like a big profile, so I talk to the guys and I can piggyback on our subscription to get it cheaper. I got one yes on that. Thank you, Bandito. If I can get 2 more yeses, I will pull the trigger on that because that honestly, it's just so fucking tedious to do individual posts on all these things all the time. And every time I'm posting on Alien Theories Theorizing, I'm using Vista Social. I go and I do the one click. I go, man, I gotta. This I was like, this is. I'm gonna pitch this. This would make my life so much easier. One more yes. One more yes. Come on, let me see that third yes. Yeah. Boom. Got it. Okay, so gonna upgrade Vista Social, and I'm gonna get a box. I'm gonna warn you right now. The box. What's in the box? I'm gonna shoot to have the box for next week. So the next shareholders meeting next week, I'll have a camera set up, and I will hopefully have a box. If not, I'll have something in place of the box, and then we'll go live with what's in the box on the 25th. Okay, so that's my goal. That's my timeline to get that stuff done. Especially now that I'm gonna have Vista Social, it's just gonna be a fucking breeze making posts. Beautiful. As for that, any other ideas to change the show, tweak the show? I'm open to suggestions, right? This is your guys' show. I can only do, I want to make sure you guys are all enjoying it. So if you got ideas or you want to tweak something bugs you, you're like, you know what? I don't really like that. Listen, let's have a discussion. Let's change it. Let's tweak it. I'm down. But Bandito, I love your idea of the just pitching a 5-star reviews on other call-in shows. There is, I think Monsters Among Us is. Be longer for all the calls and the box. Be longer. Yeah, I know you bug me, but good luck trying to get the other guys to do Cosmic Channel. So you're kind of stuck with me for now till we grow the show enough. And that being said, I'm working on getting some other stories done. What I've been doing is I've taken the guys' feedback when they read the stories. They're like, some of them are hard to read. So I go through and edit them. I am streaming on TikTok. I couldn't tonight though. I stream on the ATT TikTok, which doesn't really get us anything because we're shadow banned. So usually, even though we have 7,100 followers, we'll get maybe 2 people watching. So until we can get Cosmic Channels to 1,000, if we can get other ones to the Cosmic Channels TikTok to 1,000, then we can start streaming on there, and that's going to be our best bet to capture a natural audience. But it's slow going, man. Getting to 1,000. I think we're at 18. So. I'll have to make some. I'll try to do some call to action posts to really get people to do that. If you post to other cryptid pages asking for calls or stories, maybe we can grow the show. So I have been. So I've been joining, and all of you guys can do this too, if you want. I've been joining like UFO groups and Bigfoot sighting groups and paranormal groups like in my area. I've been starting to focus in British Columbia, and I basically just have made a post that just says like, hey, I'm Braden. I host this show. I would love to hear your experiences. If you want to call in, it's Thursdays, or if you want to write in your story, and I give them the CosmicChannelsPodcast at gmail.com. And it's actually got 5 or 6 written in stories. I have had a couple solicitations of, if you pay me, I'll come on and tell my story. It's really good. It's worth the money. And I've been like, no, we got no money to pay you. And also, usually those people's stories are the worst and I instantly don't believe them. I'll listen to the general. Making calls to Cosmic Channels on the normal show? No, not yet. But the plan is, I'm hoping I can release one of these on the main feed in the next coming weeks. But we'll see. We got some other stuff we're trying to reignite the fire of ATT too, because as everyone's well aware, once we left Spotify, with our Apple listeners just crashed and burned. So we're really trying to grassroots grow that show up back where it is. So it's I don't want to flood it with Cosmic Channel stuff. I want to flood it with cool ATT stuff. But we will soon. I'll get one on there. I have been mentioning Cosmic Channels on there on the lives. No big deal. Maybe I'll get a Cosmic Channel shirt that I can wear on all the shows. We could pay for the followers, but then it's not organic followers, so it's like we could probably live stream, but we're not really. That's not doing anything for us. You know what I mean? We're still gonna only have 2 or 3 people watching the live, which is it really bugged me tonight that I couldn't get Facebook working because I really want to break our concurrent viewer record, which right now is sitting at 39, which I know we could do if Instagram and Facebook would work at the same time, and it just hasn't. Sean, call in. Tell your story before I go. I'll take your story real quick before I shut her down. Number in the YouTube feed. Yes. 5-star reviews, both shows on Apple Music. Go to Apple Music, post it, and then, oh yeah, dude, Mr. Beast, come give me $10,000, please. Just start tagging Mr. Beast because I know he drops big donations on Twitch. It does help so much. 5-star reviews help so much. Can't tonight, try next week. Okay, so I'm gonna update for next week. I'm gonna update Vista Social. I'm gonna post all the if you guys want to participate. Again, feel free, take any clips from the show. You can download the show, cut it yourself. If you're on our Discord with Alien Theorists Theorizing, you can download the clips, create your own clip show, do whatever you want with the clips, post them. If you make a clips account and you get 1 million followers and you're raking in ad money using our clips, cool. As long as it's growing our show, I don't care. As long as you're helping, I would never care. As long as you're helping the show. So, if you guys want to do that, there's that. I will fix all the restream. I got my goal next week is stream on YouTube and YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all simultaneously. For whatever reason this week and last week, I just cannot get it to work together. So I'm gonna have to do some troubleshooting. Anything else you guys want me to tweak or fix? Do you have any ideas? Shoot it in the chat at Cosmic Channels. I've been changing the graphic every time. Do you guys want me to post like I've got a whole bunch made? Do you want me to post them? You guys can pick them in Discord. Maybe I'll do that because I try to make a new one every week. I thought, we discussed it at the first shareholders meeting that it would be cool, and then it's easy for people to kind of like, oh, I saw that story. Oh, that's from this episode. So, any other tweets? Let me know. I gotta go though. I am in tremendous amount of pain from being so sore from acupuncture, and I didn't eat dinner, so I'm gonna go do that. And then, guess what? I'm double duty tonight because I'm back in the studio in an hour and a half recording some ATT Confidential and bonus stuff. So, no rest for the wicked. See you guys all next week. Cosmic Channel, same time. And make sure to go download today's episode. 7.4 was a banger episode. You all love it. Thank you guys so much for helping the show grow and, helping feed ideas into the show. It's growing. It's growing. Our little baby is slowly growing. So it's cool. We will talk to you guys later. Peace.